What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of Sold Separately. We are discussing the YooTooz AEW figures. We got a lot of great stuff to get into, and I, of course, can't do it without my esteemed colleague, Anthony Ricciardi. What's going on, my friend?
I'm doing all right. It's always fun doing these. We have an interesting lineup. It's the first YooTooz wrestling figures that I think exist. It's AEW's answer to WWE's Funko Pops.
I was
So
about to say Funko Pop myself, and let's
yeah,
get right into the first one, Anthony. And I
yep.
didn't even mean to cut you off there, but this one Funko popped me.
Mm-hmm.
Pockets, as some like to call,
Yes.
properly rolled sleeves. I've
Yep.
never been more impressed. Say what you will about Funko Pops, properly rolled sleeves.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail with these. Obviously, they're more expensive than the Funko Pops. The rumor, I don't know if it's ever been confirmed, is that once Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks got the New Japan Funko Pops out, it supposedly, allegedly angered WWE to the point where they got
Move the needle.
an exclusive deal. So that's why you don't see any other wrestling Funko Pops other than WWE. That's the rumor. I don't know if that's ever been confirmed. But this, it's got a lot of detail. It even has the drawstrings for the pants. I think it's a great likeness. The shades are very cool. And yeah, he's got the pockets. Like you said, his hands are in the pockets. And it's a very cool looking figure. It also reminds me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Clark, it kind of looks like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, just with a beard.
Oh, I hear that, but I will say, for me, what just pushes it over the edge is, look, I'm not even a big Funko Pop collector in any way. I prefer traditional action figures, but I do very much appreciate Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
The roll on the jacket sleeves on the
Mm-hmm.
jean jacket
Yep.
is freaking brilliant.
I like
spot on, and that's hard to accomplish.
I like the hole in the jeans, and I'm presumably the black is supposed to be knee pads. I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be.
No, but those are the traditional holes. I'm talking more the arm sleeves.
Oh no, but I think that's a nice detail to have the black for the knee pads as well. But yeah, I think it's a great detail. They're, I believe, 4.5 inches tall. These figures or statues or whatever you want to call them, because they're not exactly posable. But yeah, they're like Funkos. But
essentially,
yep.
I mean, it's the same gig. I will say though, this is one of what I've seen so far, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those ones that I'm just like, this is freaking cool. I love.
Yep.
You've got the jacket fold sleeve. You've got the rolled up sleeve on the left side. Like you said, you have the knee pads showing through. You got the big sneakers. It's a good look. The beard is a little weird.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. He fits Funko Pop as well as anybody, though. If
Yes.
this was a Funko Pop, because the shades help it. But Zach Morris, hard to deny.
It's Zach Morris with a beard.
That's a part of the visual. Let's move on to our friend Maxwell, though.
Yes.
Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, I mean, oddly enough, I don't think we've gotten this version of MJF in the trademark suit as a figure from Jazzwares. Not that I recall. I don't believe it's ever been made. So this is the first time he's been in the trademark suit. I'm surprised. Well, maybe in the next round, maybe they'll do the Hanukkah suit that like he wore last night on Dynamite.
That would have been outstanding, I think, sincerely.
Yeah.
But, shout out Loudmouth Golf.
But yeah, that I think is great. He has the diamond ring on his pinky, and it captures the smugness that is MJF. I think it's a good one. You know, which is something you don't see in Funkos, the mouth and stuff like that. So this is kind of different, and it's very animated.
I have one issue with this entire figure, and I think it's great. Other than this, it is a perfect MJF in a pose we've needed long.
Yes.
With a Dynamite Diamond ring, and then the rest of it looks like a character from The Sims.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. Like there's nothing very maxy about the face.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm not a big fan of the the eyes. I don't. But I guess that's the animation style that they use. Obviously,
Right.
it's not an issue with the orange Cassidy because he's wearing the shades. You don't know. Um. So
To me, it's the mouth and the facial expression. He doesn't look like we should hate him enough.
uh, yeah, honestly, he looks like a smug good guy as opposed to the
A
lovable scumbag.
smug, we hate him.
I don't get smug scumbag on this.
He doesn't look slimy enough. That's
Yes.
my only complaint.
Yep.
Other than that, I do love the render and everything.
Yes.
But let's keep it rolling while we're up.
Yes. This is
Christopher Jericho, go you
yeah.
dive right into this.
This is supposed to be Lionheart Jericho. But it's not Lionheart Jericho from back in the day. It's modern day Lionheart Jericho, and you could tell that because he's got the sleeve tattoo, which obviously he did not have back then. Uh Again, this is another one of those. I personally I wouldn't need this in my collection. I think this is for the Jericho diehards that need to have every version of Jericho. Um, the smiling face is an interesting face to have on this. He looks very happy. Again, the eyes aren't my thing on the on
See,
this.
see, I completely hear where you're coming from, but I will say one thing in defense of the smile.
Mm,
It fits
it
the
does.
line. It fits right all the way back to WCW, even and like you mentioned, obviously the tattoo and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it does fit that like
Uh,
just get under your
I
skin. There's almost something annoying about the smile on this figure that makes it embody the character
I would
in a
almost.
way that is cool to me.
You know what I think would look cool in this format? The Jericho from the tail end of WCW and the debut in WWF, where he had that one strand of hair that was like in a tie.
Oh, the little mini
Yeah,
ponytail,
yeah, the mini
top,
ponytail,
the top knot.
the top knot. Yes,
Hey, little known fact: Chris Jericho invented the top knot.
yeah. But I think that version of
He did.
Jericho with the top knot would be kind of fun in a weird little figure form because I don't really think it's been done.
I'm with you, and here's the thing for me: Lionheart Jericho is cool as could be to me. I
Yeah.
think it's awesome,
Yes.
and like his place in history is pretty much already solidified. It
Guaranteed
is
Hall of Famer.
interesting that it's a modern iteration.
Yes.
I, other than that, though, this is very cool. And if you're a diehard Jericho fan, especially of the history and the timeline that has been his career,
Mhm.
this is a good one to get for
Yep.
sure. This is also a different style of figure than we're used to breaking down, Ant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You and I talk a lot about elites, different
Yes.
figures like that. Multiple face scans is out of the question.
Yes.
This one, by comparison to the Max,
Yeah.
while I didn't anticipate it, I actually appreciate it more for what it is.
I think the eyebrows add to it too.
In a weird way, yes.
In a weird way, it
the
does.
blonde eyebrows, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fair. The pose is really good.
Yeah.
It makes sense. The tattoo, though, making it not a 90s
an
version
OG,
of
yeah.
Lionheart definitely does, muddy the waters when it comes to the conversation about this one. But let's get into our main event. Why
Yes.
not?
This is
It's timeless. Sorry. Go ahead.
this is timeless Toni Storm. Both there's a colorized version and obviously the black and white with the red lips, which I believe the black and white with the red lips I think is a ringside collectible exclusive if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean obviously she's no longer timeless on TV as of this recording, but it's going to be her greatest probably accomplishment in her career, that character. I mean, granted, she has a lot more years to go, probably, but that kind of really set the bar for her character wise. But yeah, I think for me, I love the black and white with the contrast with the red lips. That's why I got the Jazzwares figure that we've shown previously.
Yep.
That's black and white except for the lips. The only thing with this is I think if you have this on a shelf or something, there's going to be a lot of people that are not wrestling fans that will go, "Oh, you're a Marilyn Monroe fan?"
Big Maryland fan.
Because I think that's what most people would see with this, which is not a bad thing.
I mean,
Absolutely. I think this is the best one of the four. If you were only getting one,
I don't think it's close.
yeah. Whether you get both or
Maybe
you just
orange.
orange, yeah. Yeah, orange is yeah. From the guy side, yeah, orange is the best of the
But
guys.
I would say, of what we've discussed, when you look at Toni Storm, there's not a lot of professional wrestlers that you can talk about it and go like, you know, they entirely changed
Hmm.
my perception of them
Yes,
in the middle of their career. She
absolutely.
established a baseline as Toni Storm and became timeless. And the black and white figure offered alongside the regular figure,
Yeah.
not only in this version,
Hmm.
whether you want to call it Funko Pop version or
Yeah.
not,
Hmm.
or normal action figure vision, is beyond deserved. She doesn't even know she's got him right now, character wise. There are so few wrestlers you can say, I am more afraid of them leaving for Hollywood than another company. And Toni Storm is at the top of that list.
It's an incredibly risky move that she did to do this type of character, this 1930s, 50s, 40s, 50s type of Hollywood actress. Sunset Boulevard is what you've mentioned
Yep,
multiple times on the daily.
that's the
Uh,
one. Ready for my
but
close up, Mr. DeMille.
it's interesting with to do that character with today's audience that you know it's fair criticism to say they don't have a huge attention span and not necessarily big fans of history and old movies, but this character connected with the audience. And if by byproduct somebody turns on Turner Classic Movies to watch Sunset Boulevard or
Yep.
any of those type of movies, it's so funny when you had mentioned Sunset Boulevard. I really I may had seen it years prior. I don't recall. But when you mentioned it, I did go back
And you
and
checked it out?
checked it out. Because
Yeah.
I wanted to get the full picture of this character because I think everyone immediately went Marilyn Monroe, but it's deeper than that. It's a
It was,
conglomerate. It's a combination of multiples of that, and she made it into her own. So without a doubt, it's probably the best women's character that we've seen in a very long time.
I think so too. It's one of those where it's an absolute, like, it was a role. I
Yes.
mean, to make that drastic change from
Yes.
who she really is. And this is interesting. Honestly, we talked about this on the daily broadcast today. When you, by the time you see this, that'll be old. But
Yes.
it is really fascinating to me when you talk about Toni Storm. She established a baseline
Mhm.
as who presumably she is.
Yes.
And the fact that after that,
Hmm.
he accomplished this with the timeless gimmick is most impressive to me. But I also think it provided her an advantage because the expectation was set and the time was put in.
She lived the gimmick. She tried to stay in
Yes,
character as much as she could, even during interviews. She would slip here and there, but for the most part, she stayed in character. But I think one of the most telling things about the talent that Toni Storm is, and I don't think you could say this about very few people on the AEW roster. Her vacancy when she was not on
yes,
TV was felt.
palpable.
There was a void there, and I'm not going to bury Mariah May, but Mariah May is no Toni Storm. And
No
that
doubt
I'm
about
not
it.
saying that in character. I'm not doing kayfabe. It legitimately, it very much to me, she's cosplaying the timeless character, and now the real Toni Storm has shown up. Obviously, she's not in the timeless gimmick at the moment, but there's that void that AEW was not able to fill when Toni was not on TV.
No question about it. I could not agree more. But I do also think that brings us to the
Yep.
end of the show, sold separately. Please check us out every Friday We've got more stuff coming up, and it's going to be excellent. On behalf of me, Clark Taylor, and Anthony Ricciardi, everybody here at WR, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. We will talk to y'all soon.